Namaste, Hari Om, Satnam. Hello everyone. Today I am talking with Ryan about our upcoming India Crawl 2023. It's a 10-day classical yoga retreat. I'm Fran of Tuning Wellness and Ryan from the ISHTA Yoga School. We take groups from all over the world, small groups, and we went earlier this year. It was a wonderful experience. So we are taking another group 2023, April. So we have an early bird special running until the middle of December. If it sounds like something that you would like to join us with, then please jump on board with that. Today we're going to be talking about a few things that actually happen during the day at the ashram. So if you're wondering what a classical yoga retreat is or staying at an ashram, what that's all about, that's what we're going to be talking about. So let's just see, here's Ryan. Earlier this year, we actually went in June, which was quite a hot time of the year to go. So we decided to go in April next year. It's a lot nicer, and it's not the holiday season for the local people in India, so it's not as busy in Rishikesh. Our ashram is 5 kilometers upstream, so of the actual hub of Rishikesh, which is the birthplace of yoga, and so it's nice and quiet. We're on the banks of the Ganges River, as they call it there, Ganga. Yeah, so it's just a really wonderful experience, even if it's just a holiday that you work with some yoga in between. But otherwise, lots of opportunity for spiritual growth and personal development. So there's Ryan.
Hello, hello. Sorry, I'm just fixing the angle. Yay, we got on eventually.
We got on eventually. We've tried this a few other times. So here we are, brother.
Oh, lovely, lovely. There we go. Okay, welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, thank you. So Ryan is the head of ISHTA Yoga School, and I am the founder of Tuning in Wellness. And together we take groups to India once a year, and it's just so much fun for us. We also get a lot out of it, but everybody that comes has a transformational, life-changing experience. And that's largely because we are engaging with 10 days in an ashram program, as well as our own facilitated program. And this is a classical yoga retreat. So Ryan, maybe you could start off by sharing what that is. What is a classical yoga retreat and why do we do it in an ashram?
Well, such a good question. I think that the first thing that people always think of when they think yoga retreat is that they're going to be doing a lot of physical posture work, so the asanas. And although that is an element of our retreat, it's not the be-all and end-all of yoga. And I think that's what's so exciting about diving into classical yoga, because we get to experience many facets of yoga, not only the asana, but the breath work, pranayama, the cleansing practices, morning routines, evening routines, meditations, seva, karma yoga. So there's many aspects of exploring classical yoga, and people really can have the opportunity to go, wow, yoga is more than just moving my body. There's a lifestyle, there's a technology here. And why in an ashram? Because that is a safe and held space that we can have our experiences in, that is naturally conducive to peace of mind, to connecting us to nature and the elements, and to facilitating the holding of whatever can come up through these wonderful practices.
Yeah, I just want to highlight that ashram is around a very natural environment, or it's in a natural environment. Although we are in the area of Rishikesh, the birthplace of yoga, we are a few kilometers upstream. And our ashram is on the banks of the Ganges River. And even though we are immersed in these formal practices that you've mentioned some of already, we do go out into nature every day, and it's safe enough, and there's a lot of time in between the practices where you can just walk down to the banks of the river or walk slightly upstream. There's some lovely little foot trails around there. Again, very safe. And this whole idea of the lifestyle, it's all part of that as well. When we walk, how do we hold ourselves? And we notice our mind and our thoughts, our body, and everything that's engaged with that. So that's one of the highlights for me, is that we are actually in nature, comfortable ashram, but in nature. And so I want to bounce that question to you. What is one of your favorite aspects of this time?
Oh, wow. How do you pick a favorite star in the sky? I love the morning practices. I love the morning routines because I'm not a naturally early morning riser at home. And as a yogi, that's something we like to strive to. And when you're in the ashram, the environment is so conducive to these practices. I never feel like I want to just sleep and nap and, stay in bed in the morning. I want to get up. I want to be there on the mat, moving my body, looking at the Ganga, jogging on the spot, doing the breathing practices, doing the clearings. I love it because it sets such a beautiful tone for my day, and it gives me tools to take back home with me. Every time I'm there, I go, oh, yes, this is what I want to be doing when I'm at home in the morning, because you can do it at home. It's easy. And I like that they give us a technology, as I said, techniques to take back home with us that we can implement. So the morning routine is definitely my favorite. And yours?
Yeah, well, apart from being so close to nature and having it accessible within walking distance, I think some of those morning practices as well are my favorites, specifically the cleansing techniques, of which the breathing practice is part of. And also we work with, very lightly, we introduce to some of the ones where we put the water up the nose to clear out the sinuses. But all of this is to assist the airways so that we are more clean. So what the air that's coming in can actually be utilized in a more optimal way. So some of those the technology as well in that setting is far easier to learn, and we feel the benefits more instantaneously than if we had to try this at home in amongst the rest of our life, where we have family to deal with, we have other sort of decisions we have to make, and that all takes our mind and our energy into another space. So the fact that we have 100% of our focus dedicated to every single thing we do, we can really get the benefits almost instantly. And then that also leads me to one thing you were saying there, that these tools that we are given, there's enough time for them to integrate as well. And you and I mean, we know this, but just to share with those that are listening, we actually talk through afterwards. We hold the group and we do integration discussions, and we give time to questions that are going to come up, so that we don't just have an experience and we go home, we don't know what to do with it. We talk through and we work through very, very much the integration process. So I just want to highlight that as well.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Do you have a favorite practice at the ashram?
Okay, so, well, yeah, I would actually say my favorite practice overall is the practice of sacred silence or noble silence. And so that is always so delicious, but it can bring up quite a lot for people. And if somebody's never experienced that before, it's done in a way that is nice and easy and accessible. So it's not like we're in silence the whole 10 days. The silence starts from after dinner, and then it's up until after the morning practices, after breakfast. So especially those morning practices, I feel like that's why they're so sacred, is because everybody's just in their own sacred way, together doing their thing, but in silence. And then some people can choose to keep that silence throughout the day. They just either wear a little badge or they just tell people, I'm in silence like that. And everybody respects that. So there's this beautiful community of understanding and support as well. How do you find the silence, and how have you found people that have done it?
Yes. And just before I say that, for those who are just joining in to watch now, Fran and I are talking about the upcoming India yoga retreat that we are running for 10 days in April 2023. So hop into the conversation. Add any comments or questions, please. Fran, I don't mean to hijack your channel, but I see some people logging on, and I thought, let's just quickly say hello. The silence, I like the silence. I really like the silence. But I've noticed over the years that people do get a little bit uncomfortable with silence, and that's only at the beginning. And usually it's the ones who are the most uncomfortable with silence at the beginning who by the end they go, oh my word, what have I been missing? And then people send us emails and messages when they get back home to their countries, and they go, oh my word, I can't even put the radio on much anymore. I just enjoy that stillness, because we are numbing ourselves so much as a society, so much external input, phones and YouTube and music, and just to have an opportunity to cancel out as much of that white noise as you can, just leaves you with you. And what a beautiful privilege that is.
Yeah. And so in context for today, I think most of these tools that we learn at the ashram, part of the classical understanding of yoga, they are so imperative that we bring those tools into our modern lifestyle to assist with stress and coping with all the things that we have to, this constant stimulus that we have to deal with. and they really do help. They really do. I mean, this is a technology that's been around for over 5,000 years. There's a reason why it's been around for that long. So there's the lifestyle aspect as well. All these things, we're talking about breathing, we're talking about cleansing, we're talking about silence. But of course, there's also the physical aspect. So I just want to address that quickly as well. We do 2 asana or posture movement classes a day. And for some people, that might seem like quite a lot. But the yoga is designed to get the circulation into the body, to get mobility into the joints, to get circulation into the muscles, just enough so that we are balanced. So we don't overdo it, we don't underdo it. If you're tired some days, you can just sit in the corner and do your own thing. You can have a nap during that time. It's not like somebody's going to be there and be ticking the box, you know, if you joined or didn't join. It is advisable that you join everything because it's kind of a step-by-step process. It all builds up. But if you're tired some days, you don't want to join the physical classes. You don't have to. And they are designed to be accessible to all body types as well.
And as you say, there's a natural progression. So what you start with on day 1, you'll be amazed at what you can do by day 10. You know, there's a beautiful progression that can happen through the body. So very, very nice to mention. And then should we mention one more little thing, because I know you and I love it. It's the puja and the kirtan.
Yes. Now this is jumping to the evening, actually. So we mentioned quite a few of the morning practices, and we have discussions during the day and little workshops. And in the evening, it's dedicated to saying thank you to the sun that is setting and the night that is coming. And this is a time that in their culture, that is the yoga there is integrated into the Hindu culture as well. So this is a beautiful way of having access and being invited to join in these evening rituals that are Hindu-based. And it's to basically say thank you. They do it through lighting candles and doing certain rituals around certain statues that represent certain energies. But ultimately, it's just saying thank you to God, the universe, to life. Maybe you could say a bit more about that, right?
Yeah, it's. I mean, you and I. It's always been a highlight of our day, and when we're there, you know, there's this beautiful moment where you just pause as you integrate from the busyness of daytime. Like, you know, we all have jobs and we run around, and then sunset comes, and it's such a lovely practice to, even when I'm at home now. You know, I don't necessarily do the puja every evening, but I might light an incense stick at sunset or a candle. I'll just close my eyes, even if I'm standing in the middle of the mall, and just go, whew, there's a transition time happening now from the busyness, and I now like release my day and I step forward into the calmness of my evening. And that's carried with me all these years that you and I have been up and down to Rishikesh. And so it doesn't need all the bells and whistles, but I love the bells and whistles as well. There's lots of water and shells and fire and music. And we sing these beautiful hymns to the divine in many different names and many different forms. And so yoga doesn't tell us what to believe. It gives us tools to connect to what we already believe in. And so that's what we do. We celebrate universalism.
Yeah. So I think we just leave it at that. It's we're going to have another one of these discussions in a week's time, but for now, I think that gives us a nice understanding of what we do at the ashram, what classical yoga is actually about, a bit of everything. So if this is the first time that you've ever even done yoga, we've had people come before that haven't even done any yoga before. Come with an open mind and come and experience that. And for those who have had yoga as a practice their whole life, you're also welcome. So this is open to absolutely anybody. We will meet you where you are at. Come and have fun with us in India, because we do. We enjoy it, and it brings us joy. So come and experience that with us.
And we're gonna because I see Marietta and Carol are joining in now. We're gonna sign this video off, and then I think you guys, Fran, will be able to share it so you can watch from the beginning. I think that's possible. Hey, Fran, and then cool, wonderful, that's exciting. And then we're gonna
just below this video in the text will be the URL, the link in the bio as well. Will take you to information on the website. And from there, you can get in contact with us if you have any questions.
Wonderful. I'm going to see you. We're going to carry this conversation onto Facebook just now, so I'm going to see you there.
Yeah. See you shortly on Facebook, my Instagram.
Bye.
Bye.